Morning, sir.
Okay. So in yesterday's session, we were discussing about the JUnit test cases we have discussed actually. So JUnit, as we already discussed, if I want to test any individual classes method by method, if I want to test it, I'll go for my unit testing. And since we are studying in Java, unit testing in Java, we are going for a framework called as what framework?
JUnit.
We have JUnit 5, that is the latest version of your JUnit, and we have your JUnit 4 is also there. Normally we'll be using that also. We'll be using actually. And the main differences between the JUnit 4 and JUnit 5 will be based upon their annotations actually. Okay. And how you will be defining like I want to test a particular method in a class, I want to test it. So how you will indicate that particular method is a testing method? Test annotation. You have to define an annotation called test annotation. And if I want to invoke any method before each test, then you will be going for a method annotation called
Before each.
And after means you can go for after or after each. And before every test, if I want to invoke means I can go for before all or before class. After means you can go for after all or after class actually. And if I want to ignore any test cases now, you can go for an annotation called ignore. So whenever you're going to okay, that is in the case of core Java part actually. But whenever you develop any application in the case of Spring or Spring Boot now, obviously it will be having how many layers it will be containing?
3 layers.
Controller, service,
repository actually. So whenever the user send the request, first the request will go to my controller program, and from the controller program it will go to the service program, and from the service program it will go to the repository program. So repository program now obviously it will communicate with the database. So at the time of testing, each time hitting the database, it is not a good practice. So I want to always create some mock of the information I want to create it. So for that purpose, you will be going for a framework called as Mockito framework. Okay, you will be going for a framework called Mockito framework. So it is an open source Java and basic testing framework in order to create your mock objects. And whenever you are going to write the test cases for the repository program, for a controller program, first annotation you always start with what?
run with
Runner.class actually. And next annotation, if I'm going for a repository program now, then I have to provide an annotation called in a repository program I'm asking. In repository program, Spring Boot test annotation. And what is that Spring Boot test annotation is going to do now? It is going to take all your application.properties file, all your classes that have been created in your application. That and all I can able to access in my testing site with the help of an annotation called Spring Boot test annotation actually. And if I'm going to test my controller program now, then we have to provide what annotation
WebMVC test.
You have to provide an annotation called WebMVC test annotation. If I'm going to test any controller program, if I want to test it, means you have to provide an annotation called WebMVC test annotation. Now from the controller program, I'll be communicating with the repository program. I'll be communicating, but controller. If I'm going to write a test cases for the controller program now, then compulsory I have to provide an annotation called MVC test annotation. And now how I can able to provide all those mock information and all I can able to provide in the case of your controller program. You have to provide what class you have to use it in the case of your